reception to thank everyone who's played a part in the campaign, which was set up to tackle the stigma surrounding mental health.
Psychotherapist Mark Newey has marked the day talking to people outside of the Guildhall in Cambridge, teaching them to cut out stress, anxiety and depression from their lives. I'm going to be talking to Mark in a moment, but first, Chloe Keeley sent us this from St James's Palace.
Prince William and Prince Harry invited people here to St James's Palace today really to thank them for the part they played in making their campaign a success. So you may remember the princes, together with the Duchess of Cambridge, set up a charity called Heads Together with the aim of reducing the stigma around mental health and really just getting more people talking about it. So some of the people that were invited here today are people that spoke out about their own experiences of mental health as part of that campaign, and others are people that took part in activities to raise money but also to raise awareness of the cause. And I've been speaking to some of them to find out what it meant to them to be invited here today.
I think it's a real achievement in the space of just 2 years. They've made, or 1.5 years, made this charity so big and really prepared people to have this conversation about mental health and really sort of normalised it. So it's less of an issue now. People can approach each other, whether they're colleagues, family, or just friends, and really start that conversation and sort of start the sort of healing process. And in just a few months, it's now become from pretty much nothing to one of the biggest charities in the UK.
Well, it does seem as though the campaign is starting to have a real impact. Just a few days ago, the results of a survey showed that since the charity launched its OK to Say campaign, millions more people have started talking about mental health. Now, it isn't long since Prince Harry gave a very candid interview about coping with the death of his mother, in which he said that he wanted to smash the stigma surrounding mental health. And it does seem as though slowly but surely his charity is starting to do just that.
Well, Mark Newey was the psychotherapist we saw giving advice on the streets of Cambridge. Thank you very much indeed for coming in to speak to us. I just wonder, what were the main issues that people were coming to you wanting help for, and how were you able to help?
Well, actually, there's a whole variety of issues, which is always the way with mental health. Some of the people were students who were struggling with the pressure at university. Some were stressed out mums trying to, keep a career going and be good at everything at home. There were stressed out executives, so a complete mixture of people. Mainly stress and anxiety and depression. Also some issues around pain, physical pain, and the stress and the worry and the anxiety of that. And generally speaking, my advice to people is basically twofold. The first really important thing is to maintain as good a level as possible of self-esteem, because what tends to happen with stress, anxiety and depression, we internalise everything and we start hiding because it's shameful. And one of the great things about Mental Health Awareness Day and the work that the Royal Princes have been doing is it's making the conversation of mental health issues a normal everyday activity, so that people don't have to hide.
Yeah, you mentioned there was a second thing as well.
The second thing is actually one of the things we misunderstand about stress, anxiety and depression is that they're a signal from our system that we're not living life in a way that makes us happy. And so simply managing the problem and medicating isn't enough. It's a signal to change something in our life. So what I always say to people is don't accept where you are. You can beat this.
Yeah, brilliant advice there. The fact is, I suppose, people were willing to talk to you as little as 10 years ago, I imagine. I wonder if this would have been the case.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. And the great thing is that they're also really open up and give some quite personal details. And this, bear in mind, was in a market square in Cambridge. This was quite a visible place. So yes, I think people are more prepared to talk.
And you're obviously a qualified therapist. Are there things that we can all do to help friends or family having a tough time, or is that risky, would you say?
Do you know, mainly people need the facility to talk and share. And the great thing about Mental Health Awareness Day is, as it becomes more normal to talk about these things, people should be able to talk about the problems they're having earlier. It's when we bottle everything up and it gets worse and worse and worse that it gets much more difficult to deal with. But if we start talking to our mates before it becomes a real problem, actually that can really help.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Mark, it's been great speaking to you. Thank you very much indeed for your time today.
Pleasure.
every day.
Yeah, brilliant, isn't it? Really interesting.
Next, if you have been